Hello, hello. It is day 129 of 365 days of my raw suspending disbelief journey. Today is August 29th, 2024, and I am definitely feeling the pressure of like, I need to rebuild my website and all these things. I was not able to just focus on that today because it's the day before my kids go back to school, and it's just there's just way too much to do. So I had podcast recording session planned for the Spiral of the Rose podcast. I had some catch up to do on my own podcast stuff, and I had some last minute shopping to do, some last minute um, prep stuff for school, for everything to run smoothly on day one kind of thing. Just it was just one of those kinds of days of catching up on some things that have been put off for a while, and like scheduling out the episodes for this podcast. I was like 20 days or something like that behind, or I think it was 16 actually behind on actually loading them, like putting them on to be broadcasted, right? So I've been recording but not putting them up. So just because things have been insane. So got that done, got caught up on that. And, you know, as much as I wanted to work on the website stuff and as much as I wanted to work on client stuff, it was just like, it was a really effective day as far as like crossing things off the list so that I didn't feel, like I'm behind on everything, which is nice. So that makes a big difference. And I am a little bit relieved about that. And, um, yeah, it was nice to get that done. With the kids still being home and it being a recording day, I had to kick them out of the house and send them to the park kind of thing with their big sister, and just sort of all around everything was sort of just from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and doing different things the whole time. So, um, nothing awful, nothing blow your mind out of the water amazing, but also nice to have less things on the list that are not caught up. And doing that just makes me feel more confident that I'm set up for receiving, that I am um, creating the experiences that I want to have by having things be on track. I do not like not being on track. I don't like being behind on posting episodes, even though it's free content, things like that. It bothers me. It irritates me. And when I feel like I have those things undone, I've started to notice that there's this feeling of like, if that's not done, things aren't flowing as smoothly. And I realize that that's not a truth. That's not a fact. It's just a perception, and not one that I really want to have. But at the same time, I still am feeling the relief from having gotten those things done, if that makes sense. So, and again, like here's the thing, I have gotten behind because I'm trusting that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I've been focusing on other things, but then I also am like, okay, there's got to be catch up times. So, it's a little bit of a give and take and a back and forth as far as, me just trusting versus, uh, me trying to control it a little bit, and I'm trying to release control, but not get behind at the same time. So it's a little bit paradoxical for me. But all in all, good things. And just sort of what has become a regular day, energetically, like just on fire again, but just, um, sometimes when I have that super crazy high energy, I'm actually not very effective, and I'm just way too hyper and not really able to be effective using that energy and putting it towards the right things. And this last month, I've really found, and it's been actually a little bit over a month now, of feeling like it's just Energizer Bunny on crack. Is like, it's really, I can't even explain it differently. It's like high energy that just is amazingly really put towards the right things. And for myself personally, especially before this last month, I hit times during the month, different parts of my hormone cycle or whatever, where my focus is just not there, and it's a lot more difficult, and I really have to work for it. And then other times in the month where I'm super effective, and then other times in the month where I'm just more tired and not, like, even though I can focus, I'm like, I don't want to, or, things like that. And this month has not had that at all. For over 30 days now, I have just been like, I'm on fire, I'm go, 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 and I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm getting it all done. And it's just like boom, 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 and like insane. And it has been outward and inward, like different times of, while emotional seasons happened, being very inward and doing a lot of like the more healing inward stuff and back end stuff in my business, so that I didn't need to be communicating outwards. And then there's been times where it's all outwards, and it's sort of like this weird mix, but the energy has stayed the same, which is really, really interesting to me. And I'm not 100% sure if it's because I spent a few days before this kickoff of this month for the birthday offers going, like, I am completely turning inwards and allowing myself to just like fill up so heavily that this month isn't going to burn me out, kind of a thing. Or like I think I've mentioned before on this podcast that I do have this thing that I've experienced for several years in a row now, at least, if not before that. I just didn't pay attention before that, but where July is brutal and August is amazing. And it just seems to be my pattern. And so I knew that going into it, because I had become aware of that over the last couple of years. And then I also, maybe because I was aware of it, I also semi-created it. And I am aware of that we do create our experiences, right? And so as much as I will say, though, I had intended, like, I know that Julys are really rough for me and all of this stuff before. I had still been like, but I don't want it to be like that this year. So I'm going to XYZ. I'm setting these intentions. And I really still found that July was just really rough for me. So trusting that that's just the way that it works for me, I guess. And again, I'm always exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that August is always just amazing. So I think at this point, like, it's just been confirmed so heavily that I'm like, I could just schedule around this at this point. Like, take July off every year and work my ass off in August, because that seems to be what works best for me. Even with all of the big, heavy, hard stuff that has happened this month, it's also been just super effective and more income. And I'm not sure that I'll hit my 8K goal that I had set, because I did have these really big, hard things that just, and especially with my website now being down for several days and people can't even pay me, and all of this stuff is like, I don't think I'll get there. Trying not to lose faith in that. So I guess actively resuspending disbelief and choosing that that's not going to be the experience that I have. But again, I'm not going to complain if I just, raised up my monthly income this month and it doesn't go all the way to 8K, but I still increased it. That's great. Right. So definitely not complaining, still aiming high, and planning to wrap up this last couple of days of the month as best as I can, with a big push, and try to see how far we get. And also just really grateful that I'm more set up for things ongoing. I've had a lot of stuff being booked out over the last month, and so I've got lots on the schedule going forward, and lots of it's preset. It's laid out what my schedule is going to look like, all of that. Tomorrow is the kids staggered entry day for school. So they'll be, Casey is only at school for an hour. I'll be with her for that whole thing. And the other two are in for the full day with only half of their classes there. And then we have a holiday Monday and they go back Tuesday and Wednesday next week. So after that, school will be regular schedule and I will be more able to schedule my business, which is a big thing for me. I do like to schedule. That's the Virgo side of me that is like, I still have very much this energy of wanting to plan and having that clear plan laid out. And it really empowers me to then put my energy behind that plan. And when I have this high energy like this and I have a plan, I'm unstoppable. So really looking forward to that scheduled time that's not quite so flex around the kids. And yeah. And again, just really glad that I got a lot off the to-do list today and looking forward to getting some of the things that I want to be focused on done tomorrow. So that's where I'm at. That's what I've got for you guys today. And hopefully there's some takeaways in there that are helpful. The seasons of life that we go through sometimes are just not always what we plan them to be, and we sort of have to just deal with it. And hopefully, I guess my example can be a good example of how to roll through all of those ups and downs and sideways pieces of life, and have that be okay as best as possible. So anyway, okay, that's what I have for you guys today. I will talk to you all tomorrow.